From Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 6.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us on THV 11 and streaming with THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen Fuller.
I'm Hayden Balgavy. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Let's send it back over to meteorologist Tracy Bean, and Ashley King is in the house. Wondering if you got a spot of that eclipse driving in.
We're over here playing with our height. I've got my heels on.
Like,
she doesn't.
So
I
have my tennis shoes on. You doing the Oompa Loompa dance? Like, oh, what's going on?
Like,
Oompa Loompa?
Yeah.
Who is the actual tallest person?
So, Tracy is definitely taller than me, but especially when I have tinnies on and she has on heels.
This is what we do in the morning, folks.
I'll put my heels on later. I'm going with comfort right now.
Or maybe I'll put my tennis shoes on later, and we'll just do that.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, that works too. Yeah.
That's impressive.
We've entertained you this morning, haven't we?
That's my slow clap.
All right. Did you see the blood moon when you came in?
Yes.
What's
going
nice.
on?
So yeah, it's a total lunar eclipse, and you're not going to see another one until 2029. So I'm glad you saw it.
I did see it. It was very pretty.
Yeah. Hopefully our
and
friends.
Kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, it is a little creepy. We've got lots of pictures that have come in, and so we'll continue to get those posted. It takes me just a little bit, but we'll get them on there. Promise. I've already got them downloaded, and now I'm loading them up. But this morning we are looking at a little patchy fog this morning. A nice start to the morning. It's a little chilly as we are going to see those temperatures in the 40s, but that sunrise around 6:35, and I'm going to show you the fog map here in a second, and probably going to see that get a little bit worse as we're getting closer to sunrise. So sunset around 6:07. Don't forget, time change is on Sunday. Right now it is 47 with a very, very light wind, so that fog is just kind of lingering around a little bit. Nothing to shred it up and move it on out of here, as we are seeing most of that dense fog in northern Arkansas. But here in central it's around 4, but Searcy's gone down to 1, so we're starting to see it creep a little bit more this way. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Pine Bluff around 5 miles this morning, and that temperature, as I mentioned, in the 40s. But today we are going to see that high near 80, and we'll continue to see that weather impact alert as we're heading into Wednesday for some strong storms and heavy rain. So actually, so far traffic hasn't been too bad. How's it doing this morning?
Yeah, things are looking good right now. We don't have any issues on our roadways. Traffic is running smoothly. So we're going to get a check of what's happening right here with our live traffic map. And you can see it is all green, no accidents, no delays to tell you about right now. It is still very early, so we'll take another look at it coming up.
This morning, the ongoing U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran are expected to take center stage at the White House. President Trump is set to host the German chancellor today as tensions in the region continue to rise.
This as U.S. Central Command says new strikes have hit key Iranian military sites. At the same time, Iran's retaliatory attacks are spreading across parts of the region.
The Pentagon now confirms at least 6 U.S. service members have been killed since the bombing began 4 days ago. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has the very latest developments.
Blasts rocked Tehran early Tuesday. The Pentagon says U.S. forces destroyed Iranian military command facilities, airfields, and missile and drone launch sites. Overnight, suspected Iranian missiles were shot down over Doha, while Saudi Arabia's defense ministry said Iranian drones struck the U.S. embassy in Riyadh, causing minor damage.
The hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military.
Monday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned the next phase of operations will be even more punishing for Iran. He held a briefing with lawmakers that some Democrats say sparked more questions than answers.
This is Trump's war. This is a war of choice. He has no strategy. He has no end game.
President Trump defended the strikes in a letter to Congress obtained by CBS News, arguing, quote, the threat to the United States and its allies became untenable.
This was our last best chance to strike.
The president says operations will continue until Iran's missile capabilities, nuclear ambitions, and Navy are all destroyed.
We projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
The president added in a lengthy social media post overnight that U.S. munitions stockpiles have, quote, never been higher, and that wars can be fought forever using those supplies. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Back here at home, an emphasis on local races is driving early voter turnout across the state, including in heavily Democratic Pulaski County, ahead of the primaries today. More than 32,000 voters have already cast ballots. THV 11's Tamer Knight joins us now with what you need to know if you are planning to vote in today's primaries. Tamer?
Well, good morning, Karen. That's right. It's election day here in Arkansas, and with more than 236,000 registered voters in Pulaski County, the outcome of the election is already outpacing the 2022 midterms. Now, with more than 32,000 voters, about 13% have cast ballots in the primary election. Another 3,600 voters have voted in the special general election for House District 70. Circuit and County Clerk Terry Hollingsworth says while those numbers are slightly higher than the 10% turnout seen during the 2022 midterms, she still wants to see more super voters at the polls.
Currently, we are doing about 13% as it relates to folks who've already early voted. And so that is higher than what we did in the last midterm election, which was in 2022. But I will tell you, I'm still disappointed because we still need to have more super voters to come out and make sure that they have their votes cast and their voices heard.
Hollingsworth believes the slight increase comes from voters who want change and are motivated to make their voices heard. Polls will be open today from 7:30 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. If you are in line by 7:30, you can still vote. Voters must cast ballots at their assigned precinct and bring a valid ID. Now, to find polling locations or to download a sample ballot, you must be able to view the voters visit Voter View on the Arkansas Secretary of State website. And remember, if you are not a Republican, you cannot participate on a Republican ballot, or you must be optional or Republican, and Democrats will not have the opportunity to vote in those races. Reporting in Pulaski County for THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
About an hour and a half away from those polls opening up. Tamer, thank you.
In more election news, Lonoke County is now calling on a veteran leader to oversee today's vote count. Former Cabot Mayor Eddie Joe Williams is serving as interim county clerk after Dawn Porterfield suddenly stepped down last week. Porterfield cited family health reasons and the heated election environment. Two Republicans, Joni Howell and Deputy Clerk Shauna Rogers, are running for the job. The winner will take office next year. Some of that tension is largely driven by a high-profile sheriff's race. Incumbent John Staley is facing challengers Aaron Spencer and David Buford. The race has drawn national attention because Spencer is charged with second-degree murder in the killing of a man who took Spencer's underage daughter. Deputies under Staley helped build that case. Spencer's trial is on hold until later this month, but if he's convicted, he would not be eligible to hold office. And stay with us in the next half hour as we look at other key races shaping decisions for voters in Arkansas.
A federal trial date is now set for a Fayetteville mother wrongfully detained at gunpoint by Arkansas State Police. Here's the details for you. Peyton Malia's lawsuit against 4 troopers will go before a jury starting on April 13th, 2027 in Fayetteville. A settlement conference is scheduled for February of 2027. Police dash cam footage, as you see here, shows troopers surrounding her car at a Casey's gas station in July of 2024. Ordering her to get on the ground in front of her 4-year-old son before realizing they had the wrong vehicle. She claims her constitutional rights were violated. The state is arguing the troopers are protected by qualified immunity and is asking the court to dismiss the case.
Arkansas public libraries can now move forward with summer reading programs, e-books, and other services after more than $1 million in state funding was released. The Arkansas State Library Board voted 5-0 Monday to distribute more than $1 million it had tabled last month over spending concerns. According to the Arkansas Advocate, some libraries paused services during the delay, warning summer programs could be at risk. Board members say they wanted clearer rules. Librarians say the funding is critical for counties that haven't raised library millage rates in decades. Now let's talk weather with meteorologist Tracy Bean. Maybe she'll read us a story about fog.
Well, once upon a time, on a Tuesday morning, there was a dense fog advisory that was issued until 9 a.m. this morning. You know, we talked a little bit more about if you were heading more towards northeast Arkansas, it was getting a little bit thicker. Well, they did go ahead and issue this from the National Weather Service. We are seeing those visibilities a mile there in Searcy and even less. And the dense fog is a 1/4 mile or less. So certainly seeing that in a few areas here in central Arkansas. We're still still at 4, but I'm keeping an eye on it because as we get closer to sunrise, you know how that works. It always gets a little worse, and of course, that's exactly when people are getting on the road. So I'll keep an eye on that for you. It's going to be a bit breezy today, and that high will be close to 80 degrees.
Still ahead, new video now shows former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton facing questions from members of Congress about Jeffrey Epstein, what they said, and the big moments that turned tense. Just about 10 after 6 on your Tuesday morning, that total lunar eclipse. You can see the moon in the very distance on your left side of your screen there. Of course, it's going to be a beautiful day, but rain is on the way this week. Tracy has another update on your forecast as THV 11 Morning News continues.